Good afternoon, everybody. It is David Perlmutter, and I am the founder and CEO of Quantum Listing. Uh, Very excited to have Andrew Bermudez presenting to you for, we think it's the fifth time, and we keep having him back because he keeps giving us great information, and we all need, especially us brokers out there, a little push in the right direction when it comes to generating leads for our listings, especially while we're all kind of stuck at home. Um, so let me tell you a little bit about Andrew, but before I do that, I want to thank our hosts, the News Funnel. The News Funnel is an amazing resource for our industry. A, it is free, and B, it aggregates all the commercial real estate news that we all need every day to stay informed about what is going on in our markets. So check out the News Funnel. If you have your own website or blog, you can add their feed to it. Doesn't cost you anything, and a great way to bring people back again and again to your site. So let me tell you about Andrew. Andrew is a commercial real estate technology entrepreneur with an extensive background in commercial real estate brokerage, sales, leasing, and lead generation. He is currently the CEO and co-founder of Diggsy, an online portal that makes it easier to find, lease, and buy commercial real estate. Diggsy also helps property owners and brokers generate more clients and fill more listings without cold calling. Andrew was raised in Guayaquil, Ecuador, and moved to the US in 1993. In high school, Andrew taught himself how to code software and design websites, and he was introverted, which you're never going to believe after you hear him today, and he wanted to become more sociable. So once he got out of high school, he got a job where he could be forced to walk up to people and talk to them, and that's how he got into commercial real estate at Lee and Associates. After being on the job for 3 months, he noticed that the ways that people were generating tenants and buyers, it was time consuming and slow, and he started building software to generate leads and market listings online and via email. His sales production numbers climbed quickly, and he became a vice president and partner of Lee and Associates at the tender age of 24. A year and a half later, he was promoted to senior vice president with founders shares and ran a team of 5. And he continued to invest in improving his marketing and sales automation software so he could source more clients and fill more listings. And he saw a big opportunity in making this technology available to brokers like us worldwide. So he struck out on his own and founded Diggsy with 2 other co-founders. One was a former programmer who worked for Google, and the other was a user experience software engineer whose previous company was acquired for millions by SK Telecom. And Andrew got investment to build Diggsy from a board member of Zillow, a former VP at LoopNet, and a former CEO of Apple Computer, plus angels and venture capitalists. So just know, friends, that Andrew isn't just a guy. He's a guy who has walked the walk that you and I have to walk every day. And that being said, I am going to turn it over to you, Andrew.
Cool. Can I share my screen on this bad boy? Everybody can see me, right?
I can, did you get, I think you can grab it from the bottom, but if not, I'll.
Yeah, I see it. Let me know
Okay.
if you can see my screen.
Got it.
Can you guys see it?
Yes, sir.
All right, so let me just hit present right here. All right, well, hey, thanks everybody for attending. My name is Andrew Bermudez. That was a fantastic introduction, so I'm not gonna tell you anything else about me because David knows more stuff about me than I do. Yeah, special thanks to the News Funnel and to Quantum Listing. We love collaborating with Quantum Listing. We're a very collaborative platform. So with that being said, I kind of wanted to jump in here. They already told you a little bit about myself. So I was a commercial real estate professional for a little over 12 years, so from 99 all the way to 2012. When I left to go start a couple companies, and then about 4.5 years ago we started Diggsy. To kind of really put Diggsy into perspective, why you would use Diggsy as opposed to other websites is we are B2C, meaning that we're business to consumer, the consumer being the end user. So that's a tenant, a buyer, a principal, an investor. So for a lot of commercial real estate professionals out there who don't have a way to market directly in an inexpensive or free fashion to reach tenants and buyers and principals directly with their listings, we have some of the greatest SEO in the markets that we've been up and running for a while. And so we show up on the first page of Google, tenant can come in, buyer can come in and just look at all the listings in the market. You guys can post those listings for free and then they can reach out to you directly. And what we do is for those individuals that need a little bit more traffic or things like that, then we have what we call premium or professional options that you won't see on our site, but you can always inquire about for us. Just think of us as if you can't afford to pay a listing service that directly markets to tenants and buyers directly, so you guys can dual end more deals, save expenses, make more commissions, or make more rent, then you would use a thing like Diggsy, where it's free to get started and you can post unlimited listings there. So that kind of gives you a glimpse of like why we built this. There isn't that many, business to consumer listing portals out there that have been effective or that have the clout that we have been reaching tenants and buyers on the first page of Google, which is basically helps you guys get your properties in front of them. What I'm going to talk about today is mainly how to instantly generate leads looking for space. And I always go back to this in many of my conversations with David, many of my conversations with people in the industry. I'm fortunate enough where I get calls from commercial real estate professionals and messages on LinkedIn, with questions or asking for help or wanting to chat. And I just keep on saying that it's all about getting high ROI. It's if you're going to put a minute of your time, any minute of your time is money. So you're burning $1 or you're making $1 or making multiple dollars. I want to be able to pay $1 and not get $1 back. I want to make $3, $4, $5. And that's how I look at the lens of, before I do anything, what can we do to get the highest output from the least amount of input? So it's all about less work and more money. So getting leads. And the way to do this is everybody wants to work smart, but you have to be very intelligent about this, right? So one thing that we notice quite a bit is that commercial real estate professionals, the common thing that they do is they use these methods, right, to generate leads. They cold call, they network, they do email marketing, and they send mailers. Some might do social media. Still to this day, there's just not a lot of people doing social media. But ourselves excluded, we do a lot on social media, but cold calling takes time, networking takes time, email marketing takes time, but it's efficient and there is a return there. And then there's mailers, it costs a little bit, but you're able to catch a crowd. The problem that we see though, is that when people are doing these sorts of things, is that the commercial real estate professionals are rarely focused in targeting tenants and buyers where they're actively shopping for space. And I'll put that into perspective. Let's say you have a list of prospects and you're calling them, hey, do you need to move? Hey, would you like some property? They are not actively looking for space. So you're spending, hours cold calling. The average phone call is 7.5 minutes. And that's, even if conversations you've had and voicemails you've left, et cetera. So it takes all those into account. That means that within an hour, you're making a little bit less than 10 calls. So it just takes a lot of time and effort. And you're shopping for leads where leads aren't shopping for commercial real estate. So you see the problem is you're going to invest all this time and energy. You're going to leave a bunch of voicemails, and commercial real estate professionals, unfortunately, there isn't a good program where you are forced to think differently to get a higher return on your investment. Same thing with networking. You go to a networking event. Is that where people are shopping for real estate? Doubt it. The CPA is not actively looking for real estate. He might have a client, but you're really betting a lot of dollars that you might get a return out of it. Not that you shouldn't do it. Everybody should network and keep in touch with their network, but that's not where people are, keyword, actively shopping for commercial real estate. That's the keyword. So where do these tenants and buyers shop for commercial real estate, right? David, where do they shop for commercial real estate?
To unmute myself. So where do they shop for? Well, a lot of people shop for real estate online these days.
That's right. And where do they go? They go to Google. Right? So There is 80%. There's a study from LoopNet and LoopNet and Google did a study, and it showed that close to 80% of all commercial real estate tenants, even if they have a broker or before they even reach out to a professional, they go online, they type in a query to find commercial real estate, right? But what happens when they do that? Look at this, warehouse for rent in Tustin. We ran this morning, shows LoopNet, Diggsy, City Feet, warehousespaces.com, rofo.com. Like not a single, not one commercial real estate firm shows up at the top page of Google when somebody searches for property. You see the problem? 80% of your audience is searching online. You are nowhere to be found, right? And the one thing is that you go, well, we got to spend a lot of money in SEO and get up there. And it's like, yeah, you may want to hold off on that because that's not really the panacea for a lot of the stuff. This isn't the antidote. When you start looking at what the product that a commercial real estate tenant or buyer actively looking for space is, what are they looking for? What's the product? They want to find listings, not brokers. They want to find listings. So every time you're trying to generate leads, think about it. What does my customer want? They want to find property. They want to find listings. They are not looking for my services, right? So what do, right? Well, the one thing is you're gonna get beat out hands down, even if you spend thousands or millions of dollars in SEO and you go to the top. When they go to your site, they're gonna see maybe some listings if you have listings on your website. But then what's gonna happen is the Google algorithm is gonna see that very rarely does a searcher actually find the answer on your website because maybe you're geographically constrained. But what they see is that when they go to Diggsy or some others, they'll see that, oh, they're spending time on Diggsy, a lot of time. They're engaging with people. They're emailing people, asking for more information on the property, or they're calling, or they're revealing phone numbers. So the Google algorithm is actually going to bump the listing websites higher than any commercial real estate site because they are actually aggregators. So they have a lot more variety to offer a tenant. And of course, even if you spend millions of dollars and you climb up to the first page of Google, Google is going to recognize that you're geographically constrained, et cetera. So that's going to push you down the search results because they want to provide the answer to the searcher on Google at the very top so that they get in and get out, because they know if they provide that more people will continue to use Google. And it's a strategy they've been doing since day one. And look how big they are today. I think they command like 90% of the online search engine traffic. So this kind of gives you a list of websites, and you want to make sure that your listings are across all of these websites, because you don't know where your next tenant's coming from. Are they coming from LoopNet? Are they coming from Diggsy? Are they coming from OfficeSpace.com, 42 Floors, Quantum Listing? Of course, list your properties on Quantum Listing. And by the way, if you list them on Quantum Listing, they go to Diggsy and vice versa. So we collaborate to give you the most exposure. So what do, right? Like you've got that, and oh yeah, let's not forget, I mean, you guys probably have to walk in here with some disinfectant, but yeah, they shop for a commercial real estate on Craigslist, believe it or not, still a hot thing. So how do you, if you can't beat them, right, in getting traction on the first page of Google, how can you join them and how can you get more leads from listing websites, right? We go back, where are tenants and buyers searching? They're searching online, and where are they frequenting? They're frequenting the listing websites. Well, there's actually a neat trick, and we actually built a tool for commercial real estate professionals to do this. And it's basically when a tenant or a buyer goes to your listing on any other listing websites, most people will actually upload their brochure, right? Like they'll actually upload the PDF. If it's an offering memorandum, if it's a brochure, a floor plan, etc., I would completely try to stay away from that. What I want to do is the moment that they look at my brochure or anything, I want to be able to prompt them that if this property doesn't work, to contact me, so that way I can help them find what they want, right? So think about this. You guys probably go into your listing analytics and it says, hey, your listing or this property has gotten 90,000 views in the past 3 months, right? Where you've only gotten 10 leads. Like, why? Because we're just not taught in commercial real estate school to get higher conversions from what we're already doing, right? So if on average, for every 100 times that your listing is viewed, you get 1 lead. What if you can bump that up to, let's say, 2 leads? That's 2x the return. And you can do that very simply by making sure that you put lead captures in your brochures. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. So when somebody clicks on your listing on a listing website, when they pull up the brochure, you can actually have a lead capture pop-up right that here that says, hey, you know, I'm Scott over at Lee & Associates. Hey, I can save you time finding space. Let me know what you want. And then they click there and they can start filling in the requirement, and then you get notified. Very cool hack. If you're getting 90,000 views and you got 10 leads, imagine if you got 90,000 views and then all of a sudden you double that number. Climbing up another percent's not that hard when you're getting 90,000 views on your listings. So there's a great hack, and usually you can actually triple that at the minimum. So here's what I'm going to show you. So how do we do this, right? So I'm going to show you this. I don't legally, I'm not allowed to go into other listing websites, but you guys can get creative with this. It's very simple on how to do this, right? What we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to find our brochures on Dropbox. So let me see if I can move this little bad boy right here. So it's blocking my screen. So I have my little Dropbox here. I'm going to open up my my Dropbox. All right, and see, I have like sample brochures, so I'm going to leave that open. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to getdiggsy.com. All right. And when you go to getdiggsy.com, you can actually submit a listing that'll allow you to create a free account to submit free listings, or you can click login. And when you click login, you see right here at the bottom, let me make this a little bigger. It says create an account. You're going to click there and you're going to sign up for a free lister account. And when you sign up for a free lister account, I'm already logged in on this other one. What you're going to do is you're going to go to this section called generate leads. You see that at the top? I can add a listing here very simply, but I'm going to say just generate leads, and I want to put lead captures on my thing. So I'm going to go here to where it says capture leads on your listings and web content. So I'm going to go back to my Dropbox folder, and here's a brochure, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on here, and I'm going to click on copy Dropbox link. And then I'm going to right click here and I'm going to paste the Dropbox link. And then what I'm going to say is create URL. And then when I copy this, I can actually paste this link on any listing website. Whether you're posting, let's say, even an ad on Craigslist, you can say, see the brochure here. Whether you're putting it in the body of a listing website that you're populating it, you know, if it's not Diggsy, or even you can even do it on Diggsy or anything else, just go ahead and just start using links. Because when they go and click on that link, here's what's going to happen. You know, the brochure is going to pop up, and look at that. They can say, hey, did you know you can save time finding space? Click here, and they can start filling out what they're looking for, right? So very, very simple way to generate more traffic. If you're getting 90,000, 30,000, 2,000, convert more of those leads by prompting them. You know, you're going to look like a rock star when they go, oh, what the hell? Like, I've clicked on all these brochures, but nobody's offered me help. It's a very, very simple trick. So that was the demo right there. So let's go. Let me just go ahead and recap to put it all into context. So we're not targeting leads where they're actively searching. So we kind of got that mental check. We just checked ourselves against her. Where are they shopping? We know it's on Google. Then we go, we got to get higher on Google. And then we realize, like, no, if we get higher on Google, it's going to take a lot of time, energy, effort, and a lot of money, and only to be demoted by Google because the listing websites are always going to beat us. So then you go, okay, well, what do I want to do? I want to make sure that I'm listing all of my properties on all the listing websites. And actually, you don't have to manually enter them. There's actually, if you guys email me, Andrew at getdiggsy.com, or if you guys want to leave a comment on this on YouTube, a description, or just when we're sharing this video on social media or LinkedIn, go ahead and, you know, and put a comment and just make sure to like mention us. And what we'll do is we'll answer any questions, but we can actually give you a list of emails where you guys can just draft up a quick little email and send your brochure, floor plan, and what you want listed to all the different listing websites, and most of them will actually take it via email. So it's super simple. We'll also, you know, to make it simple for you guys so you guys don't have to go through that extra step, what I'll do is when you guys create a free account on Diggsy, there's this little section right here where if you click on your initials, it says help and resources, right? We'll add a section here or somewhere in here, and you can just type in like listing websites, and then it'll find all how to submit your listings on the listing website. So we'll just make it like that easier for the crowd, so they don't have to comment. We just don't know if they're going to be on YouTube or if they're going to be on social media, et cetera. So we'll put that in there so when you log in, you have access and you don't have to write emails or anything like that. But you're welcome to email me. So we'll do that to make it easy for you. So what happens, right, when the when they search for commercial space, right, and they can't find it on Diggsy, they can't find it on all of the other listing websites, what happens? So tenants and buyers who are very motivated, maybe you're in a 1031 exchange, or maybe you're exploding at the seams, but the inventory isn't out there, or the brokers are not calling you back. Believe it or not, most of these tenants are actually using your website to find commercial real estate. So they'll go to Cushman, CBRE, Marcus Millichap, Avison Young, Lee and Associates, Colliers, you know, all of the usual suspects, right? If they can't find it on Quantum Listing, if they can't find it on Diggsy, then they're going to go direct to the firms that they see their names to see if they've missed anything, right? So usually it's great, like Lee and Associates, you go to their website and they have a little properties module right here, right? And that's a great way to generate leads because now they're frequenting. But you keep in mind, you're kind of like step 2. So all the hot leads are going to be in listing services. So you want to make sure that you're capturing leads via lead captures on all of your brochures, referral plans, even put a link to the website and things like that. But if you for some reason don't have this, if you don't have a search option for listings on your website, actually Diggsy makes it really easy for you guys to do this as well. And I don't want to be a Diggsy commercial. So for example, here's commercial realty specialist. You click on the services side, and then all of a sudden it links them to all the spaces. So what you can do is if we, you can actually make it so that they see all the spaces in the market. And the moment that they click on a listing, or the moment that they inquire on a listing, you're going to get notified via email saying, hey, this person was on your website searching for space, here's the contact info. What you can also do is if for some reason Diggsy it doesn't have critical mass in your market, that's okay. You can go to Diggsy. If you list all of your buildings on Diggsy, all of your listings will show up there, so you can always put them in the brochure, and you can restrict it to only show your company's listings or to show all the listings in the market. So that's actually a free tool. So go ahead, the way to do that, it's just like I showed you, sign up for a free account, you click on that generate leads tab, and then you select option 1, which is capture leads via listing search, and then you can grab that. We also have a code that you guys can embed, so you have all of your own branding. If you want to have like your logo at the top and all that stuff, you just reach out to us. Same thing for the lead capture pop-up when they're coming up. I'll show you a neat trick where if for some reason you also want that lead capture on your website, we'll show you that. So capturing more leads on your website. So yeah, great. Now you have listing search, and if they search and inquire, then you're going to get notified that you have a lead because you're providing listings on your website, whether they're your own or everybody else's. The one thing though is that also when they visit your website, just like what we did with the trying to get more leads and increase the number of leads we're getting from the listing services we already list on, providing that lead capture pop-up, what you can do is that you can actually do a lead capture pop-up on your website. So when they visit your website, it automatically pops up, and then you can have one main person or the company and then engage that person. Because keep in mind, only about 1.5% of tenants actually inquire on a listing that they view. So you kind of want to bump that up, so you can actually just prompt them right out of the gate to be able to do this. If you guys find other tools that work better for you than Diggsy, by all means do it. It's all about just educating you guys about the things and some of the tricks and tips that we believe that we can share in the limited amount of time that we've got in this webinar. But engage them and convert them into a deal. That's what it's all about. You want to be Johnny on the spot, Tiffany on the spot, and make sure that you capture their information, call them up, and convert them. It's a perfect way to fill vacancies. So that's one thing. So like I mentioned earlier, you can sign up for that. If you want to embed it in your website, reach out to us and we can get you signed up for that. Now that's kind of like where people are frequenting. And keep in mind, I'm going to say, everybody goes, we should market on social media. That's fantastic. Should market on social media. Yeah, you should market your brand on social media, but are tenants and buyers like actively consulting Twitter or LinkedIn to find property? No, they're going to Google, they're going to search engine, they're going to a listing service to do those things. Now, that's one avenue, but if I want to generate leads now, right? In addition to that, like I understand I'm getting more mileage out of my listings. I mean, first step is listed everywhere, right? And we'll put up that section that shows all the listing websites with some emails, like, so you only have to write one email, hey, list this property, and then or modify this listing price or whatever, it's to make it easy for you guys. That's one thing there. But the other thing too, the people that have leads right now is the people who are talking to these active tenants and buyers. You guys follow me? So who are they talking to? They're calling on signs, they're talking to listing brokers. They're calling on signs, they're talking to in-house leasing agents at landlords that don't use outside brokers. And they're also talking to property managers that happen to do leasing for the property owner. You guys follow me on that? So what do? Right? Very easy. You reach out to the people that have the most listings or people that have similar listings that you do. And you basically just write a quick email or call them up and go, hey, look, I've got this property. Your property's similar to ours. I want to, how about we do this so that you fill your property faster, I fill my property faster. Why don't we once a week trade prospect reports, right? I'll give you the names of the people and email address and contact information of the people that have called us, and we'll give you the same. And you do that with the landlords too. The landlords don't rep tenants and buyers, so like they're more happy to give you those things and you trade them. Just add value, make sure you trade, and at the same time, do them a solid. If a tenant calls on your property and it doesn't work, maybe it's a specific use or maybe out of budget, or you just don't have the adequate amount of, or like a yard or something, but the other property is that, connect that broker who's hooking you up with prospect reports via email, or do it with the in-house leasing agent, etc. So the moment that you talk to these individuals and they have their prospect list, you guys can trade day one, and then you start doing that every single week, and you start talking to all of the brokers who have similar properties, all of the in-house leasing agents that have similar properties or are in the area you want. And then maybe what you can do is even just group them all together, and once a week you guys all trade prospect reports. But it's a great way to find tenants and buyers now. So tenants, buyers first look online, and then they also then go to your website. So if they don't find what they want, they go to your website. And then 3, what they do is they talk to brokers, property managers, etc. So you want to create a very communal way where you mutually benefit by trading prospects, because day one you might even find your tenant that way. And also refer them in real time. Refer them, hey, this property doesn't work. I'm going to connect you with Steve over at CBRE who has this great property, and I just write an email back to them saying, hey, Mr. Lead or Mrs. Lead, as promised, I'm connecting you with my buddy at CBRE. He's got this great property. I'm like, hey, Tim, meet Mr. Tenant, Mrs. Tenant, etc. So that's a very powerful thing. The second thing you can do is a lot of these tenant and buyer leads are actually direct, right? So you make more money. Offer them a referral fee, right? Offer them a referral fee. If you're a landlord, then you can say, hey, look, you don't have to work the deal. If just send me your list of prospects, and if I close a deal with one of your prospects, I'll pay you the full commission. That's if you're a landlord. If you're a property manager or a broker that's on the listing side, that broker's referring you a deal. They're not repping them, obviously, because they do that, but offer a referral fee or offer them a full fee. Just depends. But create a referral program where they want to send you leads and trade leads with you, and you actually compensate them. Not only are you giving them leads, but you're compensating them. And at the same time, they're making money and they don't even have to do one thing for the deal. That's very simple stuff. That's what we could do. There are always questions like, should we advertise on Google? I left that out of this presentation simply because those questions come up, but it can get very expensive, and I can go in a lot of detail as when it makes sense to advertise on Google for your commercial real estate services or properties. Also a lot of questions on social media. So I wanted to create kind of like a section here where our audience can actually ask us, what we, any questions in particular to some things that weren't mentioned in this session. So I'll let you take over, David.
All right, wow. Well, thank you. Gosh, that was a fire hose of great information there, Andrew. And I think it's a good thing that we'll be sending out, follow-up information in the webinar, because I can see this becoming a handy reference point for our viewers here today and watching in the future on YouTube. So that was amazing. So to the folks that are watching live, please put your questions in the chat box and we'll share them with Andrew. Or alternatively, if we can do this in an orderly fashion, feel free to unmute yourself. And when I see you unmuted, I will call on you. So please do that. Yeah, I know I say this like almost every week, but commercial real estate brokers who generally have an opinion about everything and are not shy people by definition, when it comes to being on a webinar, uh, they clam up. Why do you think that is, Andrew? Do you have any idea why people don't like to ask questions? They don't want to not know something? Is that it?
Um,
Or the,
Sometimes it can be uncomfortable for some people. Sometimes people are in a rush and they need to get somewhere. I don't know. Everybody has like their different things. I can only speculate.
We have a question.
we do have a question, and that's Julia from our team, and it's from David Evans. Any strategies for multifamily brokers that you recommend?
Yeah, same thing applies. If you're, marketing a multifamily property, you should definitely add a lead capture link on there. We are actually in the process of rolling out the multifamily product in the next, I want to say in the next few months or couple months. Actually, it should be actually here pretty soon. So the lead capture widget's going to have multifamily options. Also, you're going to be able to list your multifamily properties on Diggsy here shortly as well. It depends what kind of strategy for multifamily brokers. What I would be doing is I would be basically reaching out. It depends whether I'm trying to move a property or whether I'm trying to source more principals, right? So there's like two things. And you can kind of like use one to do the other. So if I'm listing properties on that, I may just, in the meantime, if Diggsy doesn't offer that, go find a tool that you can do, like you can wrap a call to action, a good one, and I'll put it here in the chat. It's called Sniply. It's snip.ly. And what that allows you to do is you can actually share a link. I don't think it'll do it with the Dropbox though. That's the one thing. But any like a website or anything like that, you can add a call to action. What you might be able to do is you might be able to like just find just like chat box tools or something like that, and see if you can wrap it and use anything in the meantime. But we're coming to the multifamily here really soon. We have a backlog of just tons of people wanting to market their properties now. What I would be doing for multifamily is I would be doing the same thing with brokers. I would be basing trading leads on that, and trading those leads. You want to rep the principal. If let's say if they already have a broker, like I might just put the other broker in touch with that person. I would be the great thing about multifamily prospects is that usually if they own a building or if they're buying a building, then most likely they're going to buy another building. So they're kind of always in the market. So keeping a great email database, staying in front of them on social media, setting out a multifamily project, that can be pretty helpful. And then David, if you want to give me a shout, I know we're friends on LinkedIn. Go ahead and shoot me a note on LinkedIn, and I'll pop with your phone number, and what I'll do is I'll give you a call to kind of delve a little deeper into kind of some of the challenges that you're facing and see if I can be of help in any way.
Thank you. That was great. Well, now we have another question. Carlos Jara says, does the link to the lead capture widget need to be a Dropbox one, or can it be a Google Drive one?
I don't know the answer to that, but register for a free account and give it a try and see which one works. Many people use all of the services. Dropbox is free, so if you're not using Dropbox, you can just create a free account and store a few brochures or offering memorandums in there. But just check it out. I don't know the answer to that at this moment.
And another question from Bradley Lloyd. What is the most effective way to prospect new buyers and tenants when you're just starting off in your commercial business and only have 4 listings?
Fantastic. There's actually 2 hacks to this. The fact that you have 4 listings is huge because it gives you a reason to talk to people, right? I mean, David, you're a broker too, so you get it. That's one thing. The other thing too is you can use the prospect reports, and you can hook up with other who have a lot of listings or a lot of vacancies. And yeah, they're your competitor, but go, hey, look, if I close a deal, one of my properties with one of your tenants on your prospect list, like I'll give you a referral fee, and we'll just trade once a week. I'll send you my leads once a week. You send me your leads, and then we'll trade, right? You don't have to send me the ones that you're in negotiations with, or the ones that you think you are possibly going to make a deal with. And guess what? In that spreadsheet, yeah, you're not only using it for that, but you're talking to the tenants, and then they go, oh, I'm looking for space, and I'm not repped by anybody. That's a great strategy. Use your 4 listings, use your prospect reports, talk to brokers in the market, pay them a referral fee, go to your own office and then talk to every single broker that does listings and go, hey, can we trade leads? And then if I end up, you tell me which leads you don't want, and then what I'll do is I'll follow up with all the leads on your listings and I'll create a prospect report for you. So that way you can save time doing it. And then basically you're like trading value for value, and then you're giving them money. So that would be the best hack you can do, is to talk to other brokers inside your office and outside your office, get leads, call those leads, trade that information, and give them a referral fee, and then help your other brokers in your office going, hey, look, I don't have to have my name on the listing. I'll just try to help you find a tenant or a buyer for this. That's fantastic. Number two is you can actually use the lead capture link in our website. You can use it to kind of like automate drips and send things to emails. Like you can actually so like somebody looks at all of the listings in a market. So I'll just go ahead and turn my screen back on so I can kind of demonstrate that. So Bradley, here's what I would do, right? So register a free account on Diggsy and load up your listings, all your listings, and then load up, if your office doesn't have all the listings, see, you can, talk to whoever you want and get the listings over to Diggsy, and our team can enter them for you, or if there's just a few, maybe you can do it, put the right brokers on there. But when you go to generate leads here at the top, you're gonna see this thing, which you can use it in multiple ways. So you can use it to embed a search, your listings on your own website, but you can also use it to prospect. So for example, here, lead capture link, I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna right click, I'm gonna actually just click copy. I guess it already did it. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go here at the top and I'm going to paste it. And then what I can do is whenever I send that link to somebody, you can actually say, if you're only doing office, you can say, I'm only doing office, right? And if I'm only doing office, let's say in Texas, I can select Texas, not Tennessee. Hold on, let me see here. Let me go back. Texas, right? And I can select square footage or county. I'm just gonna do that. And when you click only this company's listings, this is actually, the verbiage is gonna change a little bit. It's basically your listings only. I'm just gonna make it so they search all listings. So now you have all the listings on the market that you can show somebody, and they can basically search and filter down their criteria. And then when they click reveal phone number or contact agent, you're going to get a notification that that person's interested in that property. And now out of the people you're prospecting via email, you can even do this on social media. You can, like, every day you can say, here are the new listings on Diggsy. The newer listings always go to the top. So then you can send that out. But it's a good way. I don't want to do a full demo on this, but a lot of people use the personal search link to, like, every month they send an email to like their database saying, hey, here are all the new listings in the market. And they've built automations around that. That's one way to do it. Put it on your website. I would put it in my LinkedIn profile. I would put it on, search for property, my LinkedIn profile. You can do it on your profile on your website. Put the link, your personal link, and this link is actually personally yours. Notice that it actually has like this number in here. That's actually your user ID. So that lead goes to you. So it's not going over to Diggsy. It's actually going to you. So it's a great way for us to offer services and lead capture tools and lead generation tools in addition to our listing service and our SEO. But do me a favor, and I saw that Julia put my email in the chat box. Shoot me an email or message me on LinkedIn. Let's hook up, and we can talk offline about different ways that you can use this. We're very generous with our time here at Diggsy. We're very community driven, so we're happy to help you with any of this stuff. So just make sure to reach out, and we'd be happy to assist.
Excellent. Oh, I see the little chat icon has lit up again. What do we got now? Oh, Julia added your contact information. We still have time for a few more questions if anybody wants to do that. I mean, anybody have a particularly thorny problem that they've had recently with one of their listings that they want to ask Andrew or me about how to crack that nut and find somebody? The other thing that you folks should be doing is, to the extent that you do use listing services, you should be tracking the metrics for the number of views that you're getting on those different services, and how the views vary for different asset types or trade types as well. Because to the extent that they offer additional options for marketing your property, like Quantum Listing has the brand promotion where your personal marketing message can show up at the top of your market, or we have listing promotion where your listing shows up at the top of the market. You can advertise your listings through us in the Google Display Network. So there are different little things. So whether a service is inexpensive or free, it's generally because there are other options that they're offering you to increase the amount of traffic that you're getting, on that website. Because just like on the first page of, if you're not on the first page of Google, they're not seeing your listing. And a lot of times on a listing site, if they're not seeing your listing on the first page of that listing site, they may not be seeing it as well. So, particularly if those things are really reasonable, and which I'm sure Andrew's, the Diggsy offerings are, and the quantum listing ones certainly are. You should really avail yourself of those things and give yourself whatever leg up that you can. So I would recommend that. Let me. I think I need to mute somebody. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I wonder if they wanted to ask a question.
Michael, that's possible. No, he muted himself, I think. So, all right.
Okay.
That's okay. It happens to the best of us, and hopefully it happens when we're not doing something embarrassing. So, it's funny. My kids are all home, doing college classes here, and while Andrew was talking before, like all of a sudden my printer kicked on because somebody was printing something from the house on the printer, which is here in the office. So, things make noise. It's okay. We're all getting used to it. And I learned, did you know, Andrew, that, and not only, and this is a good thing for anybody who's participating in a lot of webinars and web meetings, you can now change your background on GoToMeeting. Also, you can have a virtual background on GoToMeeting, not just on Zoom. So
that's cool.
The other day I think this morning I sort of pranked Julia a little bit by making her think that I was like somewhere other than my office with that. So you can have some fun with that, people. And
that's funny.
No reason while we're at home, we still can't have some fun.
Right. Do we want to tell the audience about the upcoming webinars?
Why, yes, we do. Thank you.
All right.
So next week we have Andrew Flint, and he's going to be telling us about the virtual transaction, and he is a co-founder of Occupier.com. So this is going to be how to get your deals done more efficiently through technology. So, great tech. I spent some time on a web meeting with Andrew a couple of weeks ago, and as soon as I saw it, I had to have him come and show you guys their awesome stuff. The week of May 20th is a week under normal circumstances where many of us would be at ICSC Recon. This year, of course, it has been canceled for the obvious reason, but we want to do something that is going to give you the feel of being there without actually being there. So that's probably a good time to use those virtual backgrounds also. So I think I have a clever plan. So please stay tuned as to what exactly. I know that there are other events. Natalie Wainwright, who's a fantastic tenant rep broker out in Vegas, has got an event on Monday, I think, of that week. I know that Linda Day Harrison from the Broker List and I are planning something. Andrew, I'm sure, will be mixed up in the middle of that. May 27th, we have our friends at Buy Proxy coming to talk with us about modernized marketing for commercial real estate. Every real estate broker I know is good at doing deals, and some of them are lucky enough to have marketing people on their teams. And then there are those of us who have smaller boutique firms that we got a one-man band. So anything that we can do to learn about how to get more marketing firepower is certainly welcome. Then hopping into June, we're not going to do anything, I don't think, on June 3rd. And then June 10th, it is intro to the News Funnel 2.0. The News Funnel, who are our sponsors, are doing a revamp of their website, and I think we're going to be pretty much the first to show it to you and the world. So very excited about that. And June 17th, we've got data-driven CRE in a pandemic with Placer AI. Placer AI is another super cool technology, and it has the power to aggregate location service data that your phones and devices are providing. So great information on it, like if you're doing retail or office leasing, you can see the volume of foot traffic, when it is, where people are coming from, where they're going, and if you have an office, it will help you figure out, do you need a satellite office closer to where your employees are, particularly now that people are really rethinking the way office space is going to be used, as a result of the pandemic. So really interesting data that you can get, and the insights from that are really astounding. And so Ethan Chernovsky, who's one of the co-founders of Placer, will be with us. And then June 24th, we have Eva Baska from Build Out. Eva is going to tell us not only about all their great marketing tools, but about their new back-end service called Build Out Elite. So you can have your marketing and back-end stuff all in a single platform. So that's great. While I see one of our partners is on the webinar today, Pradeep Reddy. I urge you to have a look at on quantum listing. On any listing that you click through, you're going to see on the left-hand side a button that says Land Checks Virtual Due Diligence, and the amount of information that you can get on every listing that's on our site is really mind-blowing. It's DEP information, where the cell towers are, just really great stuff that's available. Andrew, if you want, I'll hook you up so that you can get Pradeep's information on Diggsy also, because it really is.
You connected us last time. We talked.
You're right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So and then I guess the last thing I'd like to do today is, well, first let me see if there's more questions, I think. Okay, so the last thing I'd like to do today is, of course, thank you, the participants today. And I'm sorry if I sold you short on your questions. You really came through in the end. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for that. And here, I guess I should show my face too. So thank you to everybody who's watching, either in real time or in the future. I want to thank Julia from my team, who helped put today together, and of course Andrew. Another stellar performance, and by the way, great haircut. You're beginning to look a little bit more like me. So
that's funny. Yeah, and if anybody wants to, I just put on the screen my contact information, so you guys can call 866 my Diggsy I'm sorry 866 MY D as in dog IGSY, or you can email me at andrew@diggsy.com or visit getdiggsy.com. That's my mug right there when I had longer hair. But yeah, happy to help. Tremendous thanks to you, David, for putting this together, and Julia is amazing. So I know she's been working really hard on this. So thank you, Julia.
All right. So thank you, everybody. Please stay safe. If you missed any of it, or you just want to have more time to absorb it, we'll be sending out that replay probably tomorrow. So just be well, everybody, and life will be good again for all of us, I hope. So take care.